Hey everybody, it's me, Amber, your garden mother. I am here in beautiful Brantford, Florida. I know, where is Brantford? It is in Northwest Florida, and today I am doing a fun video about wildflowers. So I'm standing in a field of beautiful coreopsis, and this is where we're gonna begin our journey. So, go get your gloves and your hand sanitizer, and let's go on a journey. So today we are going to be using my beautiful Wildflowers of Florida field guide. Whoop, whoop. You can get this on the IFAS website, University of Florida IFAS, in their book and education section of their website. But it's super great because basically you can find any wildflower and go down and find the colors, so the blooms that are mostly blue, brown, green, you get the picture. So we're going to start with yellow and flip through. So this is the golden Maine tick seed. I'm going to show you guys the picture to the flower. These guys bloom honestly throughout the year, but May is like their time of glory. So you literally can drive around in rural areas and just find fields just like we did where they're in full bloom. So we found the golden Maine tick seed, which isn't actually the Florida state flower. The Leavenworth tick seed is actually the Florida state flower. So we'll see if we can find some Leavenworth while we're out here today, but they are very similar, super beautiful kind of guys. And if you decided that you wanted to grow some, the cool part is you know, they're self-seeding. So you just take those guys. This is the seed head right here, and you can see as I just flick those out, those are all the seeds. It's that easy. So we found another beautiful, hey, it's me again. We found a variety of pawpaw. Pawpaws are super hard to grow. Everyone wants them because they are butterfly attractant and or host plant. So everyone wants to grow them, but they're super hard to grow in a homeowner situation. They're very, very wild. So we found a slime leaf pawpaw. I'm gonna go ahead and just show you the picture in the book. Yeah. And then we'll go over and I'll show you the actual flower. Let's go. So here is our slime leaf pawpaw. It's actually so beautiful. I don't think that you would really even notice it if you didn't. A lot of times you'll see them growing on the side of the road up against a fence because they need that kind of support. But they're beautiful. I mean, the flowers are like this beautiful iridescent green, and then as they age, they turn to this creamy white color. Very long, ovate leaves, super beautiful plant. As it gets a little bit larger, you can see this was the growth from last year. And everything kind of, native flowers, you'll notice they go through their own season where they flush out, like this one right here is starting to flush out with its new growth, and then they die back. So that's why native gardens are the hardest to grow, because they never really look pretty all the time. So you have to have like the flowers that bloom in May, and then you have to have the flowers that bloom in June, and then you have this beautiful color in fall. So it's a lot of work, but this is a beautiful variety of pawpaw. Super special. So I was just walking through the pasture here and I noticed this huge seed pod, and I was like, look at this. I mean, it's so silky and beautiful. I mean, the threads are almost like iridescent. So this came off of a beautiful purple thistle, which is right next door. Voila! So about probably 2 weeks ago, maybe this, ow, gosh, and it's covered with thorns. There you go. Don't touch. It was covered with purple flowers. And these are super special. A lot of florists really love using these because the purple is like this beautiful head, and I'll have an actual picture of what the flower looks like for you so you can compare it. But it was really cool to walk upon that huge seed pod head of the thistle. So here's another really neat variety, and believe it or not, it's called Tread Softly. which I'm not gonna touch this beautiful little specimen of love because literally every single branch is covered in thorns. And if you can look inside of that Y, I'm gonna move my hand out of the way, that inside of that Y is the fruit, what they consider the fruit, which is what happens, you know, of course, when all of those seed pods go to fruit. And then I think, don't hold me to this, this is also considered by cattlemen as a sour apple. And I will have to double check that theory. However, so tread softly. If you see this while you're in the woods traipsing around like I am, don't touch it because it's covered in thorns, but it is quite beautiful. The leaves are really unique. It's got, you know, that 5-leaf pattern in it. All of the leaves are actually covered in thorns as well. So again, great name. Oh, wow. So remember that beautiful, huge, like seed pod that we just found that I was holding in my hand? It took up my entire hand, which is kind of big. Here we are, beautiful specimen of the thistle. And here's the flower. So it's kind of really beautiful what will happen. So this guy will kind of explode over the next couple of days and get very large. Oh, there's bees. Oh my God, oh my God. Protect the bees. Save the bees. So check out my big friend. And that's why it's so important to plant for pollinators, because this guy is doing more good than any of us actually realize. Anytime you use herbicides or insecticides, these guys are the first ones that get affected because they come and they smell and collect all of those pollens and things from these flowers, and they're just magical little creatures. So he's thoroughly enjoying this purple thistle, as you can see. I could probably touch him right now and he wouldn't even care. So this thistle is on its way from being completely open to close. And then from there, of course, we'll get that beautiful giant seed pod. I mean, he's like burying his entire head in there, like amazing. What a special gift. Thanks for coming, dude. I didn't even pay you enough. So, on our travels, we found a beautiful coral bean. You guys can see how striking these flowers are. It's a favorite to hummingbirds and pollinators. And in frost-free zones, these guys can actually grow to like 20 feet tall. So very underutilized, but a beautiful little plant. You can see this guy is just starting to foliate. So these are what the cute little leaves look like. And then these guys are followed by these beautiful seed pods. However, highly poisonous. So definitely something to respect and enjoy, but the color alone is probably one of the most beautiful things about a coral bean. And also super easy to propagate. So if you run across those seed pods and you want to try and grow them, coral beans are easy to grow in the landscape and also at home just from seed. There's some pictures, up close pictures of the beautiful flowers. Again, that color is really the most beautiful blue red. Okay, ladies, I know every red is different, but this is a blue red, not an orange red. We have to talk about lipsticks, you know. And then there's those beautiful leaves that are kind of heart-shaped, but a little ovate too. And this is kind of a small plant. If we find some bigger ones, we'll show you, but super beautiful. Coral beans are awesome. So, friends, we just found a cute little cluster of some downy phlox. And here they are. And you'll see these from time to time, especially like if you're driving through Ocala, North Florida, kind of off of the beaten path. They do come in pinks and reds, magentas. This I consider to be purple, but they're calling it a pink. Beautiful self-seeding. This is the only time of year that they bloom, but when they do, they're really kind of spectacular and really special. People try and grow them all the time in their yards, and it's just not successful. They kind of have to have their own life cycle and their own seed cycle and all of that fun stuff. So these are really beautiful and fun to see, especially in such a shady area. So kind of nice. Here's another cute little species. This is called a Maryland Beauty. It has these very tiny leaves. I'm just going to put my finger under one of them so you can see how tiny that is. But super big, showy flowers. And you can see how it's got the 4 petals. And it can range in color from like deep purple to pink to white. And then of course it's got those big showy anthers on there. Super cute. It's found in pinelands, and it spreads by rhizomes underground. So sometimes you'll come across big bedding areas of all of these beautiful Maryland beauties. And then of course in the back there are those really beautiful mimosas. And it's got the beautiful little leaves, and when you touch them they fold in. So you can see that. See how they folded in? Kids love those things. And then the mimosas are so beautiful too. This bloom is probably open first thing this morning, and then as it fades, they get new ones every day. So they're super beautiful. Lots of pinks out there in the wildflower garden right now. Okay, next super cute, very awesome wildflower. This is called a Yupon Black Senna, and I'm hoping that the camera will do this little flower justice. It actually, each little flower has a beautiful little starburst in the center. You can see that little starburst in there. And then it's got all of the cute little ovate leaves. And if you look in the background here, so I'm gonna walk you over this way, they can get kind of big and showy. This is another like cute little specimen. So it's covered with these beautiful little yellow flowers and the deep green leaves. Blooms in the spring and in the fall. It's listed as an annual native. But again, if you could find one of those at your local native garden center, that would be a great addition, kind of a backdrop planting, because it does get on the larger side. So here is a great example of a native beautyberry. And the leaves are kind of ovate and hairy. You can kind of hear, you know, the frog is very noisy right now. But here's the cute little buds that are at the top here. Yep, there you go. And then as you go down the stem, you'll see all of the cute little flowers that are starting to come out. And then what's followed are these beautiful purple berries that the birds absolutely love. So anytime you can find these, and they're pretty popular, they're pretty easy for most native growers to propagate. So you can usually find them pretty readily. Another idea, as long as you're not on like a state park or somewhere where the plants are protected, if you're on the side of the road and you see one of these guys and you're super good at propagating, you can snip this woody stem here, snip him here, take these 2 leaves off, stick the rest in soil, and you should be able to propagate off of those 2 leaf stems. Some people are better at it than others, but there is a very good specimen of a beautyberry. So these are super beautiful and very, very delicate looking. This is called a sweet white clover. Let's see if I can get a little bit of a better backdrop there. They are from the pea or bean family. Can get to be from 3 to 6 feet tall. These guys are probably right at 3.5 feet tall. And you can see how they have these beautiful, very pointed ovate leaves, and it kind of goes all the way down. And they're alternating. So 2 will be horizontal, like completely straight across, and then the other 2 will be completely the opposite direction, which is so cool and very neat and unusual to see on a flower and or plant. So this is called the sweet white clover. At first, it almost reminded me of an orchid. It was just so beautiful. So thank you so much for joining me on the wildflower adventure. I'm sure this is, you know, stage 1, and we will have many more as the seasons progress and more wildflowers pop up. It's still very early in the summer. Behind me, you'll see our very first try at becoming bee farmers. Woo! We call them the mother buzzers. It was my oldest son Max's idea, so it's fun, exciting. We're learning about them, they're learning about us, and I'm sure we will put a video out to introduce to you guys them a little bit more as we get into the whole cycle of making honey. Oh my gosh, another fun project. Hey, thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys soon. Go outside, get dirty, plant something beautiful. I'll see you soon. Bye.